Okay, just before we get cracking, Secondus's suit, that's the coast is clear now for the National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Saturday. The Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt has dismissed the suit filed by the suspended PDP chairman, which is Secondus. The PDP was also granted leave to proceed with its elective National Convention, scheduled for the 30th and 31st of October. Now, the panel of 3 judges led by Justice Haruna Samani found no merit in Secondus's appeal, saying he voluntarily relinquished his office since he didn't challenge his removal at the ward and local government levels. That's the interesting thing about law. So that's behind us. Okay, our first story. Tomorrow week, it will be election day in Anambra State for a new governor. And as we speak, about 34,000 police personnel deployed for the exercise have arrived in the state. The Commissioner of Police in Anambra, Eworo Echeng, confirmed the development during a press briefing on Thursday. Other necessary assets, we are told, required for the November 6 polls have arrived as well. CP Echeng assured that the impact of the officers and men will be felt in the state. Now, in the build-up to Election Day in Anambra, emotion is becoming the enemy of wise counsel. Many schools paint pictures of bedlam or uproar, and Anambrarians, that's how they pronounce it? Anambrarians left disconsolate. INEC assured it is ready, even as the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, ICCES, has promised a calm atmosphere. Okay then. Madam, you know, the build-up is scary. So everybody concerned is saying no cause for alarm.
Yeah, and I want to agree and believe that there is going to be no cause for alarm. Of course, saying that, we are all being optimistic, because if we look at the happenings in Anambra and the Southeast in general in the last few months, there are actually genuine reasons to feel concerned about the election. But I think also that the authorities, the necessary authorities concerned with this election, have been doing their bits, and they have been going on as if everything is okay, which is the way it should be. INEC has kept on assuring everyone that it is ready for the election, and now we see that the police deployment is already in place, and every other security operative that is required, they are in place, which makes a lot of sense, really. So I think what is left now is for the people themselves to have enough faith in what has been put in place, and for them now to go out and actually cast their votes, because without the people, what are we talking about there? So I think we should just keep on reassuring the people.
You know, conspiracy theorists are many. There are plenty. 10 for 1 copper now. Say all sorts of things ahead. But, they just want to cow the people, so they install whoever they want there. And this is
people should go themselves. They should go out and vote. Look, INEC even today said it's discovered about 86 polling units that have no voters. Yes, in the same Anambra election. And it has said that it's not going to deploy personnel.
In state, rather.
In state, he said it's not going to deploy personnel to those places. And I like that, you know. It's not that on the election day you will not be telling people that there are no voters on the list.
And yet results will come in.
Exactly. So now that INEC has gone forward to say, look, in these places, election cannot take place because there are no voters. You now wonder, how did they get the polling units and the rest without voters that are registered?
But don't be surprised. Politicians they are capable of anything.
Definitely.
They are.
Definitely. Yeah.
Emeka, but let me quote a gentleman you know, Chika Okpala Zebrodaya. He says,
he's my brother.
Oh, really?
We are from the same village.
Okay. Yeah. Chika, I greet you. You know, he's my friend too. He says he has seen 99, who be 100. And you look at it and you are asking yourself, this country, no less so Southeast, don't see 99.
Yeah.
That show must go on.
Yes, actually, yes, it has to go on. But we must take into consideration certain issues that are still hanging. One of the governorship candidates, Obiora Agbazimalo of Labour Party, is still missing. He was kidnapped along with the security maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. He has not been found, and there are stories hanging around his abduction. His family says, you know, they've been in touch with his abductors. They are not demanding for anything. They've spoken with him. He said as well. But where is he? The police need to bring him out from wherever he is, because that is unfair. 2, when INEC monitored the primaries of parties, there was an issue hanging about one of the parties. How INEC officials waited till 5 p.m. and there were no primaries, and eventually the party said they held primaries and brought out results, and INEC listed the name of the candidate of that party. That is another hanging issue. The third hanging issue is this. The security agencies, yes, they have been deployed, soldiers and all that, but the reports we are getting is that the security agencies should not be high-handed. They should not over-display their, they should not overdo the show of force, and then now even present a bigger threat than IPOB. Understand today, soldiers went about some towns shooting in the air, and people thought, what was happening? Shooting in busy markets and all that. What for? Even in my town, people from my town, I got reports that they were shooting. People were wondering what's going on. Eventually, they said,
"Which is your town?"
Nobi. My town is Nobi. It's a junction town.
So
now they said they were shooting, and people around the day later they said no, it was soldiers, just in a show of force. Now again, there was a rally today in I think around in Nagwata. The wife of the governor represented the governor, and there was a story that unknown gunmen attacked the rally before it started and killed 5 policemen. We don't know how far that is true, but you see, all of these things, beyond just deploying security agencies, government should also
but you know my trouble with these things is these stories will come from left,
that's
right,
what
center.
I'm saying. That's what I wanted to say, and that the issue of propaganda, stories flying all over the place.
Yeah. You don't think these things are deliberate?
Oh, why not? In Nigeria, politics is money now. There are many. See, how many politicians in Nigeria have a second address? That is where they live. That is where they feed from. That's how they feed their family. So they will do everything to throw a spanner in the works.
Emeka, with 34,000 police personnel, officers and men in place, one expects that most of these theories should belong in yesterday.
Are there really 34,000? Because with experience, benefit of hindsight, we've heard, that it's just the police, the civil defense has not given us their own figure. The Nigerian military has not given us their own figure. Road safety has not given us their own figure. We hear these thousands. But go out on polling day, you see sit-dogs snatching ballot boxes. You see sit-dogs stop printing. So where are the policemen?
We have not got there.
No, but based on experience, we have to look at where we're coming from. Even recent elections. Go and ask. We are in there, Edo last year. And which other place held elections? We had these experiences, and you heard of thousands of policemen. What I'm saying is this: the Inspector General of Police and the heads of other security agencies should match their talk with action. If you say you're deploying security agents, let them be seen. And I do know that also that there are various interests are also reaching out to IPOB to say, listen, withdraw this threat, because it will not be good for Anambra to descend into chaos. We must hold this election. And then again, there is also the aspect that why is it in 2017 when a governorship election was to hold, the same IPOB came up and said no referendum on Biafra, no election. People are now asking why the focus on Anambra? But this 2019 again, and this thing coming up again
yesterday. Yes, IPOB has dissociated itself from disrupting the process. So remove that one. You have also heard that.
Yes,
perhaps maybe not.
We have even the statement by Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer 2 days ago, where he said that people should be careful of those trying to use his absence, to cause confusion. All of these things. But I do know that these things, will smoothen out. But the people, I will urge people to get ready for the elections.
I don't want you to tell me that Anambrarians are not ready for a smooth process.
No, let me tell you something. You know the interesting thing? They are ready. Look, if politicians will abide by the rules, the people of Anambra will come out. People have already made up their minds about whom they want to vote. This one say for this candidate, they will come out. You don't even need police presence because Anambra is not noted basically for election violence. All of these things, snatching ballot. But where are you snatching? Where are you running to? We know the strongholds of all these candidates. So what are you talking about? You carry ballot boxes to go and pray for who? Where? But the thing is this, you see, there are people, mischievous elements, bent on causing fear.
Yeah. And using IPOB.
And all sundry, you see, it is, crime is another big enterprise in Nigeria. Big enterprise.
I'm not a criminal, so I won't.
We're not. Sorry. We're journalists, so okay. Of course we report the news. And then what I'm saying is that the security agencies must make sure that not just before the election, during the election, they will tell you after the election, but after the election now, they withdraw security personnel. What happens to the people? There are still issues hanging about security in Anambra. So the government must make sure that the police is up and running again in Anambra State.
But before I pass over, are you happy with the Igbo politician of the 21st century?
Why not? The Igbo politician
is he playing the politics of consensus?
You see,
does he believe in consensus building?
Yes, he does. He's a politician like politicians from other places, but again,
why do you think Anambra election will pose a lot of wahala?
No, I said it. Ordinarily, if you remove all these unnecessary distractions, Anambra election should not pose any wahala because people have made up their minds based on there is the issue of religion. That religious dichotomy, it's there. It's an issue. There are some other issues about, government doing this, government not doing this, and all of that. This candidate, we don't want this candidate.
Emeka, I hear Anata is joining us from Jos, Plateau State. Ata, good evening to you.
Journalists Hangout, good evening.
We greet you. Welcome.
You see the problem with the Anambra election. It's not the deployment that is the issue. The issue is let the IG make sure he commands his men not to be partisan. That is the greatest problem they are having. Even my relations that are there, that's what they are saying. You see, that's what is making them scared. Nobody, the security they are deploying there is even worse than the IPOP, the way they are behaving. Yes. So let them check that. But this is not funny again. Yes. I don't understand what is happening in this country.
Okay.
But the last time,
is it the country now or Anambra?
Well,
so you see, you hear things like what the lady, our sister, has given us from Jos, and you are asking, are we helping the situation?
Yeah, that the other time I said we need to go beyond this to build trust in people.
Yes.
The point she raised now shows that government or the security agencies are not building enough trust in the people, which is
and the process.
And the process, yes, which is a very key area that they need to attend to, because if people have already taken it that you are even worse than IPOB, that you claim to be protecting them against, that means that the likelihood of them going out to cast their votes is very low. And if they don't go out, the likelihood that they will not be happy about the outcome of the process is also very high. And also the likelihood of probably protest after the election is also high. So I think generally speaking, people should be able to know that government is not taking side. There are assumptions. So it is the duty of government and the security agencies to come out at this time to actually say, to allay the fears of people, and let them know that no, these security agents are working for you, for the security of the people. We are not supporting anybody. We are not partisan, and we are not here to work for any party.
And the point must be made here that Anambra governorship election is one of the very few scattered elections.
Exactly.
And the position was provoked by politicians themselves.
Exactly.
Because largely, Emeka, look at it, we are very bad losers and bad winners too.
Yeah, of course, we believe in winner takes all, and we believe in enforcing it to the letter. So you see, politics is not just, it's not about service. Politicians mainly go there, you know, of course, look at how they fill their code of conduct forms, you know, anticipatory declaration. A politician tells you is worth 50 billion or 100 billion. What work has he done that, you know, he got that money? But you find out that basically what he or she is doing is in advance, you know, how much I will pack from the treasury. And that is a problem. So I think Nigerian politicians are by and large the problem. You know, they are the problem of the political system.
All right. Emeka, we have Uchechukwu is reaching us from Enugu.
Good evening.
Good evening. How do you do, sir? Let's go.
I'm doing fine, John Susan.
Yeah.
MDC too in those days.
Here we go.
Thank you. I'm talking about the election in Anambra State. I think seriously the security agencies have been able to build trust. But because the people are still not believing in each other, there is that fear that if I come out, I will be attacked. A lot of things that have been going on is based on hearsay. Sit at home, you sit at home. You don't go out. For example, all these days they've been saying sit at home. I go to my office and come back. And the road is always free in Enugu. No traffic, no nothing. But the following day, that is Tuesday, you will see the security men on Monday. But once it's Tuesday morning, you see the policemen on the road. Why wouldn't they come out on Monday to protect the people? I think the same thing is happening in Anambra State. When people say, don't come out, there is that fear. And I think the security men are there. And you journalists, you have to help out and convince the people that, look, the security agencies are for everybody. They are there to protect both the politicians and also the politicians.
Okay, many thanks. So Enugu is next to Anambra, and so the man is like eavesdropping, which is part of what we are saying. Theories from left, right, center, and so on.
Yeah, I also like the point that he made, even though the security agents too, human beings, don't let us forget that. They are also probably afraid. You know, in these places, we always hear of unknown gunmen, and their target is always the security.
Sometimes they talk about unknown men.
Unknown, yes, that's what I'm saying, that they just talk about them, but they say they keep killing and killing. So,
and they are unknown.
And they are unknown, and they are targeting security people. So, you see, the reason why we are able to deploy over 30-something thousand to Anambra now is because it's a scattered election.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for Anambra and all these southeast places to actually have enough security personnel that can be parading their roads, even on days that they declare sit at home. We need to take that into consideration. Besides, security operatives could be in some places and not even on the routes that he is also passing through. So we need to also note that. But by and large, I think it's important to build trust and to let people know that they can actually come out to raise
the
vote.
issue of the kidnapped candidate of the Labour Party.
Yeah,
and it's that's another troublous angle to what we're saying.
But like he rightly pointed out, I see that as mainly political.
Yeah.
How come that it is now that they decided to kidnap him? Why is it that it is a few weeks to election period that he's now been kidnapped? Then also,
BC, you know, both of us I'm constrained to ask Emeka, but we used to hear Delta no they carry last, so Anambra no one carry first, or what do we say?
No, well, it's up to the people of Anambra State to make sure this election is successful, and
it's in their interest.
Yes, it's in the interest of the people of Anambra. Like I've said it again and again. If you don't come out to vote, you don't have a right to complain over the next 4 years.
Whatever result is declared is binding on you.
Yes, so come out. Don't allow any threats to deter you from coming out. Come out and vote. And then the security agencies must not be partisan. You know, like my colleague has said, they should not, because there have been accusations. You know, let them remain at the level of accusation. And they should prove Nigerians right that they are not there to assist any particular candidates. You know, they should ensure that, let them just do their jobs. And then make sure, and then INEC, of course, this is also the first opportunity for INEC to now openly use the electronic transmission of results. There should be no, stories, no tales by moonlight that due to network disruption, one thing or the other happened. That was on base stations didn't work. Please, everything must work. The results must be transmitted.
Emeka has forgotten that people hardly tell stories now by moonlight, because Nigerians don't know what a moon day.
But in this one, we want the results, not the moon.
Okay, Anambra, all roads will lead to the state next Saturday. Please, the show must go on. As then they talk, BC and Emeka will agree. One monkey cannot stop a train. Okay, we have a call from Anambra State, this time Onisha. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Jones.
Yeah, I just missed your name. Frank?
I'm Mr. Brown.
Brown, let's go, sir.
Yes. What is happening in Anambra State is just very funny, because to me, I understand that politicians really want to destroy the state. It's not even the ESN that are doing all these killings. But politicians, they are the ones doing all these things. They just want to destroy the state for nothing. I'm telling you. They keep on spreading fake news everywhere that ESN are the ones doing all these killings. But politicians are behind all this.
Brown, please confirm. You are saying policemen around?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, maybe they have not been deployed.
Especially on Monday. You will not see them on the road. But other days you see them.
He's talking about the sit-at-home.
You see?
But Brown, let's clear one thing. Is it for fear of IPOB or for fear that government will not necessarily protect them?
There's no security anywhere. I think if Anambra State government and even the federal happens to be serious, they should provide security for Anambrians, for them to vote. Because once you don't see security, there's no way you vote. You not come out.
All right, Brown, from this hangout, we wish you well. We wish you well. Thank you for your time. We go to our second story. You know, the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee, FAAC, has suspended the Paris Club refund, but has, after an agreement between the federal and state government, shared a total of 965 billion naira for September among the three levels of government. The federal government got 301.3 billion naira, the states got 220.27 billion, and the local governments shared 164 billion.176 naira. Now, 54.206 billion was shared amongst the relevant states as 13% derivation revenue. It needs to be stated that a meeting of the FAAC ended in a deadlock last Friday when it was revealed that deductions for the $418 million from local governments' accounts had commenced in order to pay consultants for the job they did on the Paris Club refund. Many Nigerians condemned such a hasty decision, including Babajide and Mayor Akikbelu, when the matter came up for discussion on the program on Tuesday, just gone. That's October 26th. We'll go back to that discussion and take excerpts. So watch on.
For you, how justifiable is this humongous payment?
Well, it's not even the size of the money that is the issue. You have to follow the due process. Remember that we even, last month, the president ordered that the money the payment should be stopped. After we came on this program to say, look, there's a case in court. The judgment debt that this payment seeks to execute, there is a case in court about it. Why the indecent haste? Why wouldn't you allow the wheel of justice to run its course? Why are we bent on quickly going to pay when there is a case in court? That's what bothers me the most, not the fact that, oh, it's such a huge sum of money. Consultants interface with federal government on behalf of states. So there is something fishy about the transaction, and it has necessitated the court action. Let us do a forensic audit. Let's determine whether they indeed deserved to be paid.
That is where I stand. One, the case is in court, so we must allow the case to run its course. That's one. Two, there must be forensic audit because it shows the kind of negligence that we have within the polity. Because each state have the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice. Each state has they have Commissioner for Finance.
Indeed.
And a ministry to that effect. Within those two offices, they should be able to do anything they want to achieve without resorting to consultants. That's one. Two, how did they arrive at such a humongous amount of $480 million for consultancy fee? Because when you even look at the amount that occupies within the money they are trying to give back, it doesn't make any sense.
The president stopped this payment. At what point did he change his mind? They felt Nigerians did not need to know. This is even unconstitutional, because what that portion of the Constitution says is revenue accruing to the federating units shall be distributed. Who convinced the president against his earlier directive?
Thank you.
Who did that?
They didn't inform us. What I'm saying is that there is a dispute over the payment between the states and the federal government. And the states have gone to court. It's important for all the parties involved to go to court.
It's
to go
even
and
contempt
resolve
of court.
Absolutely.
Let's put it the way it is.
Yes.
It's contempt of court.
Yes.
To not wait for the matter to be resolved before you started deducting.
Yeah. So we are familiar with the story now, Emeka. And as asked in the clip we saw, why the haste? And for that matter, who arrived at $418 million as money you pay consultants?
Yeah, well, let's take what one of the consultants, a former Senator Ned Nwoko, said. You know, he said that this is money they rightly earned, the consultants rightly earned, you know, that they use their expertise. They even borrowed money because the states and local governments were not convinced that anything will come out of their effort. So they borrowed money and pursued the refund so that they should get their fees rightly.
Were they appointed?
Yes, of course, they said they were appointed by, you know, of course, the governors knew about it. Now, one of the cases, because he said the governors are trying to mix issues, that there is no suit, there is no case, there is no judgment saying they should not be paid. So I guess maybe he's talking about the case instituted by two consultants against a Southeast state, saying that they promised them 20% of the money coming to them. That's Enugu State.
Yeah.
20% coming, you know, of the money coming to them. And I wonder why a state would agree to pay 20% of money coming to them. I mean, so you have, you know, an armada of civil servants, you know, well trained. They go on training every year. You know, they get leave allowance, training allowance, and all kinds of allowances. And then why do you need to still pay such huge amounts to consultants? If you remember, at the tail end of, you know, during the Abacha Abdul Salami era, this thing caused a serious problem, you know, so that by the time, you know, it dovetailed into the civilian administration, the Fourth Republic, there was this clamor that no, the revenue agencies of each agency of each state should be made empowered to collect taxes, collect levies, and render services. The ministries of finance and all of that should be able to do this. But when you farm out this, that's why I also have issue with all these debts. We just taking up and down. Nobody is telling Nigerians how much of these debts is being paid to consultants, to lawyers. Nobody is telling Nigerians. All we just see, okay, Nigeria to borrow so and so billions. Nobody is giving us the component going to consultants, going to lawyers. And this thing, all this money, all these debts are going to be paid by Nigerians. So basically, even Enoko was saying the governors are talking of forensic audit, that they should carry out the forensic audit among themselves. They should look back to when the Nigerian Governors Forum was headed by the former governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari. Because they have been accused of having done some things that are not, you know, that didn't go the proper way. So all of these things is mind in confusion. These things have to be sorted out before any money is deducted. And I think it's time. It's something the National Assembly should look into. This issue of consultants
I think also
is draining the economy.
The number one citizen should be guided here.
Yeah, well, it appears some people have certain interests that are different from the national interest in pushing this matter. Because Nigerians are suffering. The economy is really shaking. Nigerians are hungry. And consultants are making such huge money. I don't understand.
Basically, I know you are not giving to these figures and so on.
Actually,
but mine is the politics of all of this. I see politics running like a thread running through everything here.
I also think the problem has to do with our own definition of federalism. I think that is the foundational problem. Now, because even this so-called Paris Club reform that we are talking about.
It is not so-called. It's
no, it is so-called. Well. Okay. Is why I say so-called is this: how many states were even took that loan in the first instance? Not all of them. So even the benefits, how many states actually benefited from it? Because it's also part of their complaint that okay, we didn't even take this loan, so why should we pay consultants for loans that we did not take? Which makes sense. So why should I pay, even if you hire, let's even assume that you hire these consultants and that you have promised to pay them, but then I did not benefit anything. Why should you deduct my money to pay a consultant for something I didn't benefit from? And that is why I said it's a problem of our own kind of federalism.
And for that matter, our own type of politics.
Now, okay, for example, we have an accountant general of the federation. This is the accountant general that speaks for the federal government and also takes decision on behalf of every other state in Nigeria. Should that be the case? No, because the accountant general of the federation cannot be making case for a federal government, because the federal government, the state government, the local government, all of them, they are all involved. They are equal partners in this project. So no one should be more senior than another. So I think, like the Ondo State Commissioner for Finance is saying, that the federal government should have its own accountant general, while we have an accountant general for the federation. And our unbiased accountant general that will work for the good of everyone. If that is the case, I assume that we may not even fall into this problem of having to hire consultants, because how many states even are aware of the consultants that are hired? How many of them are involved?
By the Nigerian Governors Forum.
Exactly. So you cannot be doing something on my behalf when I have to pay for it. So I think we need to take care of that aspect of
all right.
policies.
MX is joining us from Edo State. MX, good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, we greet you.
Yes, I want to speak on this Paris Club reform. Yes, you see, I think the level with which impunity raised in this country is something that should not be encouraged. Now, the role of the Attorney General of the Federation in this whole matter is something that is very, very uncalled for. Because if the Federal Ministry of Finance does not get advisory from him, certainly they will not contemplate doing what they are doing right now. Besides that, in the case of Ojukwu and Military Governor of Lagos State, it was heard that once a matter is in court, parties are enjoined not to do anything that will threat accompany on the court.
Yeah.
Now this matter is in court. Ordinarily, what that is that they should have waited for the matter to be dealt with and determined in court before they will unilaterally, on their own, they want to make these deductions against the states and the local government. That's not we stand against that. The other point is this: we have to be very, very wary about the activities of certain government officials in this country. Now, this same Attorney General, when Nnamdi Kanu's matter was in court sometime last week, he also came on air in the form of press conference to start dealing with matters that are purely within the confines of the court. This is not done. He's a lawyer. I should be able to advise the federal government appropriately.
MX, don't bring another matter into this thing, but we thank you for all the same for your informed contribution. Emeka, is still politics, and it would be impolitic of us not to point out the shady politics that's going on. Sometimes you wonder if politicians, look at decisions before they are taken, and if it is these decisions are in the public interest.
Yeah, people have asked a question: what really is the role of the Nigerian Governors Forum? Because Nigerians, in every state, they go to elect their governors. And then at the end of the day, the governors belong to different organizations. Nigerian Governors Forum, Progressive Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum,
Southeast Governors
all kinds of forums that take decisions that were not reached with, after consultation with the constituents. So these things, now become as if, we elected the governor on the basis of, his platform. And then now the governor has chosen, to tie us to decisions taken by all kinds of amorphous platforms. So for this particular matter, I think the Nigerian Governors Forum must put an end to this kind of, to this ridiculous
shenanigans.
This shenanigans, because you cannot be negotiating with consultants and people. Each state house or assembly, I believe each governor, and then the governors too, I agree that, let me concede to them that some of them were not in office when some of these decisions were taken. But they should forward these things to their state houses of assembly to debate them, so that, and if possible, there should be public hearings, so that they can get the best advice and know how to proceed.
All right, Emeka, thank you. We'll bury it there. But let's quickly go to our last story. All hell was let loose at a kidnapper's den in Taraba State when a number of the evil men killed themselves over the sharing of ransom. A Jalingo-based businessman and a housewife abducted a few weeks ago had ransom paid for their freedom, and the kidnappers disagreed on the sharing formula and got themselves killed at the foot of a mountain in Ado local government area of the state. In a related development, kidnappers who invaded Mazakuka in Mashegu local government area of Niger State are demanding a 60 million naira ransom from families of worshippers they snatched with the chief imam Man is indeed the most cruel of all animals, BC.
Well, I'm not cruel. I am not cruel.
No, man. You are not a man.
I'm not a man.
But you're a gentleman.
You know what? What intrigues me most about this story is the fact that the villagers, the way they described the hideouts of these kidnappers, I mean, it shows that these demons we are fighting are not invisible.
And they were hearing voices.
Yes, they said they were hearing voices. They knew they were fighting among themselves, and they went there and saw the corpses and all of that. For those who died, I'm sure maybe those people they kidnapped and they collected money from. You know, there are some people, you will collect that money, but that money will still kill you.
Oh yeah.
So
you know, you see, mine is this. Man will commit these evils, and Satan will take the credit.
Or is it the blame?
The blame.
Okay, we take the blame. Or maybe Satan.
And credit.
Yes.
Because you keep talking about it.
Exactly. Well, I don't even know who is taking the blame and who is committing the crime.
They say a devil. So who is the devil?
I don't even know.
Well, ask them.
Honestly, for those who died, good riddance to bad rubbish.
Yes.
Really. But then, how many people do we need to be taken away before we can find a permanent solution to a problem that is not too...
And for that matter, BC, is the problem not solvable?
And that's what I want to say. That's the conclusion of that. The problem that is not too far-fetched, the problem that is not so-called an invisible problem that you cannot even perceive what it is. That is why I started from the perspective of the people giving a description, a very clean and clear description
the foot of a mountain,
the foot of the mountain on the right side of this, inside this place. All of this,
the people live amongst us.
They live amongst us. That is the point I'm trying to make. And how come that these people that are amongst us, we cannot get them?
And we are not talking about ungun men.
No, this one are known men.
Known gunmen.
They are known gunmen. And yet we are so powerless in dealing with these known gunmen.
You know, Taraba appears to me, I may be wrong, they have this notoriety for kidnap kingpins.
Of course. You know, the IRT matter. You know, there was even a time, I mean, you know, it was so bad that at the time, kidnappers would go to people's houses and knock on their door, proclaim it clearly in the same Taraba state that they were there to pick so and so and so and so people in the household.
Send them forth.
Or bring out so and so amount of money or so and so maybe foodstuff. And you see, the problem is these people are not ghosts, they are not spirits. You know, so there is this strong suspicion that is gaining ground that for this kidnapping to have festered, perhaps certain, maybe influential people in political circles, possibly in government, in security circles, are in cahoots with these criminals. Because how will this kind of a thing, you know, fester for years? Years, you know, I remember when I was a child, we had this case of, we had what we call bomo. You know, cases of how they were picking.
Was popular in BC's area.
Yeah,
not in the
southwest. You know, he had variations. He had variations in other areas. You know, but
this is advanced bomb.
Advanced bomb. You know, it is so sad that these people move about with impunity, and you have police checkpoints here and there. So, is it until the people take the laws into their hands? Start taking the laws into their hands before government will rise. President Buhari in Saudi Arabia, he said that he has dealt severely with these criminals in the northwest. But these people, on Sunday, they killed so many people, scores of people in Sokoto State, killing people here and there. Now, they kidnapped even a chief imam. So you don't even understand what the basis for all of this is.
And the people were praying.
So it's not even there is no
and you are asking, you have the temerity to ask for a figure
60 million I mean, the other day, some children were left in a car with their mother in Akure. And before you knew what's happening, the children were picked. And so these things have become embarrassing because all these things are in the media. They go all over the world. And people have this idea that, why has Nigeria sunk so low? What is going on? Okay, government is saying they are deploying 34,000 policemen just because of an election that hold within a few hours. But why not deploy all police in search of these people? Let it be a do or die affair. Clear these people once and for all.
Or do and die.
No, the kidnapper should die.
Oh, okay.
It should be a matter of.
I wanted to be sure.
Yes.
Okay. You know, decision taking and decision making is key here. They say a good leader will not wait until a particular problem becomes an emergency. Now, we are living in times that try men's souls and women's souls. And the festive season is coming. And so we have, the chances are there for a heightened level of kidnapping. I may be wrong.
Yes. No, it's so sad because usually during the end of the year, criminal activities, usually rise. And that is why some states, they put in place special security measures just to cope that. But for Nigeria now, I think every day has become Christmas. Let me say it in a positive manner. That you don't even know the difference again. And it will have even been good if you even have a feeling that the people in authority are even responding to emergency. They are supposed to be proactive, right? But are they even reactive? They have failed from being proactive. Even to be reactive, they are not even reactive.
They are not there.
So, you are not proactive, you are not also reactive. So where are you? What are you doing? Where are we going? You see, are we that helpless? I think we are. I think we are. It's a sad reality. Maybe it is not deliberate because we don't know what is happening at the other side. We don't know the challenges or whatever. And they say you need to wear the cap before you can actually
underfunding.
I cannot forget what happened in Benue State the other time when the criminal Ghana or whatever.
Yes.
Or Akwasa or whatever.
Yes.
The man was going for a meeting, a reconciliation meeting.
Yes, and
left word with his boys. If I return, so be it. If I don't return, you know what to do. Which is saying, it's somebody somewhere knows what is happening. I may be wrong. I may be wrong.
I think in this case, Nigerian security agencies, they are very smart. It's not as if they are totally clueless. It's not as if they are totally. See the way they brought Nnamdi Kanu now. Do clueless people do such operations?
They talk like say you did there.
I know they there. But the way they brought him now, we didn't even know that he was in Nigeria until after like about 1 week or so, to show you that they can actually do their work discreetly if they want to do it.
It can. But in this case,
them. So I also want to admit the fact that we don't have enough security personnel.
We are talking about Niger State. Geographically speaking, Niger is the largest state in the whole country. And so the topography is another wahala. We have forests. You dislodge bandits in Zamfara. They find their way into Kebbi and onto Sokoto, now to Kaduna, Katsina, and all
but
that.
when they know that is the way they normally move, since you are talking about how they move, you are not even a security operative. But you can imagine how they move. So what are we doing about that knowledge that we have access to? They should be able to do something about that knowledge. We know that the topography is bad. We know. I think they should be able to do more. But it's also easier for us. It's easier for us to say than because they are actually in it. And
but I think the people should also be brought into the picture more. Because thank God for Amotekun, Amotekun in the southwest, that the governors insisted, in spite of the opposition of the Attorney General of the Federation, that the governors of the southwest insisted, that Amotekun had to be established. And you can see what, the gallant, members of Amotekun have been able to do in the last few months. But I think it should be expanded. More of the people should be brought in so that, you see, this thing doesn't lead to a national state of emergency. Because if it continues like this, 2022, people will be forced to go and get weapons.
Remember the statement
and to defend themselves.
Remember the statement accredited to our friend Zebrodaya, in don't see 99. Who be 100?
But there's one is weighty. The one in between 99 and 100 is weighty.
Okay.
It has its own.
We know we'll get there. And the business people will say, Kiwu Ofule, they heavy for ground. This earth took two bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And Trump dropped the last one, mother of all bombs on Afghanistan. Let it come, we'll still.
In fact, God has been good to us, and we continue
we must draw the program to a close here, but not before thanking our guest, Olabisi Deji Folutile. I thank you. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank
you. Send the bills here. Okay?
Oh, wow. That would be lovely. That would be lovely.
Yeah. Emeka, I thank you very kindly
too.
Thank you very much. Yes. Wish Anambra well.
Yes.
And the backroom boys will say thank you all the same. That will just about do it on this program. If you missed this edition, join us at 11 this evening for a late edition. And don't forget to team up with the Sunday edition of the program from 1:30 for a 2-hour show. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now.